Hey everybody, it's Dave with Dave's Island Instruments DII. Welcome to our bi-weekly DII show on live on YouTube. Today I just want to welcome you and thank you for being here. If you can, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Of course, you probably already know where the subscribe button is over there, below the screen on my left, on your right. Little red subscribe button. Click that, and you'll see notifications of all of our live videos and that sort of thing coming up. And it's be awesome. So today we've got some fun stuff to talk about. We've got a DII 10-year anniversary coming up, so we're talking about that with a special guest. And Daniel has some news for you real quick about some local stuff going on here with one of our DII customers. So Daniel, come on screen.
All right, here I come. Hold on a second, see if I got it. All right. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Daniel here. Basically, I just wanted to, I've been to, actually the last couple weeks, I think it was a week ago, Carrie. We went to a meditation and sound bath in Long Beach, and it's one of our clients that has our hand pans, but she also has like a bunch of other stuff. It's so awesome. I just wanted to let everybody know about this. It's a meditation sound bath if you're local in Long Beach. Hi, Victoria. How you doing? You can come down to this meditation and sound bath, and I have a little sample of it too. It's going to be Sunday, which is tomorrow at 5 p.m. over at El Dorado Park. And if you look here, it's off of Studebaker and Stearns. And if you're in Long Beach, it's the shade behind the shady park, and it has like this cool, really cool vibe. So let me, I'm just going to bring up this video so you guys can listen and watch. It's just a minute, and you guys can check it out. If you want to go, it's tomorrow at 5 p.m. with one of our great clients, Joy. So here we go.
Gently relax, let go, allowing your subconscious and unconscious mind to take over and receive.
So that's a little sound bath, and actually Carrie was in that one, and she mentioned that she was her back was hurting, and after that event her back stopped hurting, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So
yeah,
you know, the frequency, like sound healing, I kind of believe in that. I think it helps with a lot of different things, so check it out if you guys want to see that. It's really soothing, Victoria. It was really awesome. So let me bring Dave back on.
I think that's why it's so popular, Daniel, because it is soothing.
Yeah, it is.
Super
It is
soothing.
totally,
Yeah.
so relaxing, just meditative, and you know, it was actually a really good spot because it has a cool tree that they're under, and it's just really beautiful. So
Yep.
good spot. So cool.
Nice. So yeah, so let's look forward to seeing Joy some more out there in our little local Long Beach community here. It's gonna be terrific, and she's a great customer, and super glad to know her. And she actually was went with us one time on our show. She was a guest, and it was really fun to have her. So we're hoping to have her back one of these days as well. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we might be planning on that on the next event. She's going to talk a little bit about that. And also, for you guys, if you guys are going, just be 15 minutes early. Bring a mat, something comfortable to wear, because usually you're just laying down. I fall asleep every single time. So
Okay. All right. Well, we are live on YouTube, and we are going to announce something fun here. We've got our DII 10-year anniversary coming up, and we want to just let everybody know that we've got this anniversary coming up, and it's next week on the 19th, September 19th. So 10 years we've been in business here in Lakewood, California. And kind of to celebrate with us and to announce it and have a little bit of fun with a little chat here before we get started with our handpan lesson, we're going to be doing a free handpan starter course here just to get people going that are interested in handpans. And we're going to be talking about handpans, how they're made, how to play them, all that sort of thing. So you can wait for that, but we're going to have a little chat with a special guest. And Daniel, let's bring that special guest on right now.
All right, here we go. Woo!
Oh my gosh, it's my wife, Jackie.
Hi, everybody.
Wow. Hi, Jackie.
Good Saturday morning to you guys. This is so much
Thank
fun.
Oh my gosh. Yep, I'm just brought on the real CEO of DII. So
Yeah, Jackie's the real CEO. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys
Dave
ever wanted to know,
disappears. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Daniel.
yeah, behind every great handpan player or maker is the CEO of the company, which is you, the beautiful wife. So
That's
welcome,
right.
Jackie.
Beautiful life. I think
I'll try to stay in frame.
Jackie, is this your first live conversation on YouTube?
With you guys, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
but
did
you've
a
done a
little
live
bit
one
at work.
before with somebody else?
I did a little bit at work. My job, which is not exactly as exciting as this, but we do a lot of training, so we use this format for training quite a bit.
Very nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Jackie, I wanted to bring you on today just so you can kind of give your perspective of what the last 10 years of it has been like, and maybe give like a very short, brief history of how we met, and I don't know, just how you were involved with DII a little bit.
All right. So Dave and I actually met through steel drums. So if you know handpans, you may or may not know steel drums. And so I went off camera for a few minutes right before we started so I could pick up a couple of pictures. So if you can see this,
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
David Beery here in the white with his friend Chris in the green and a guy named Ellie Manette, which some of you guys may or may not know, but Ellie Manette was like the godfather of steel drums, right? So he was one of the first guys that figured out how to make them. And at some point, Dave and his crazy friend Chris went, that doesn't look so hard. I think I can do that. And so they started like experimenting. And I think he ended up taking a class and met Ellie a couple of times and got all excited. And he got so excited about handpans that steel drums. That's where we met at Long Beach State in the steel drum class. And I'll tell you quite honestly, I went to the class because a friend of mine named Richard went to a concert and said, that was so much fun, Jackie, we have to join. And if Richard said we had to do it, okay, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'll do it. So I go to the first class and there's this tall, skinny, lanky kid standing in the back. And I'm like, he looks kind of interesting. Turns out it was Dave, and 2 years later we started dating, and 3 or 4 years after that we got married. But so we met in the steel drum band. After Dave graduated from college, he got so into steel drums that he got hired by North High School. So he was
Oh my God,
the leader of the
Right.
number 10 can band. So I don't know if you guys see that picture very well. I'm trying to figure out where the camera is. So he led that for a long time. I spent many, many months in the bleachers at football games and walking parades while Dave was working.
Oh my God.
And this is him in front of was it the band or the orchestra, Dave?
That looks like the band. Yeah.
Yep.
Concert
And
band.
check out the ponytail.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had hair going down his back. That was
Yeah,
fun.
rocking the ponytail back in the old days.
Rocking the ponytail. So fast forward years and years and years, Dave decides that he needs to have a place for people to come and buy his wares, because after we had kids, there was just one too many nights where somebody would knock on the door at 11 at night going, is Dave here? I need my pan tuned. Is Dave here? I want to pick up that whatever. I'm like, you got to get a shop, dude. So he got a brick and mortar, which you guys have probably joined or met, or sorry, you guys have probably visited, but if you haven't, make an appointment, come by and see it. So then Dave started out with steel drums and ukuleles, and then one day he comes home, he's all excited about this thing called handpans. I'm like, what's a handpan? It's like, oh, it's blowing up and it's great, it's wonderful, and I love it, and I'm gonna figure this out too. And then he starts figuring things out, and years later, here we are. This guy's making beautiful instruments, and even I know how to play one now. So
Yes.
Awesome.
yeah.
So actually, Jackie, on that point, I wanted to ask you, because some beginners are kind of watching this show, and frequently they're always wondering about how hard it is to play or easy to play or whatever. So can you tell me just briefly your interpretation? Is it easier to play? Was it hard to play? How do you feel?
So the thing about it is, the one thing I love about handpans is you can't play a bad note, right? So you get on a piano and you can play two notes together and it's like, ugh, or you do a crunch chord or something like that, or you get on the violin and you can't play a bad note because all the notes go together, right? So that makes it easy. You can get on there and sound like you absolutely know what you're doing. And then it does take a little bit of, how do I hit it? I can hit it this way and it sounds pretty good, but if I hit it a certain way, it sounds really good. So you can get started pretty easy. You can't make a bad note. You can fake it till you make it on this instrument, super easy. But the more you learn about it, then you can do some amazing things.
Yep. Awesome. Well,
No,
that was
awesome.
great, Jackie. That was like one of the best little historical conversations I've had.
No, it's so
It was
awesome.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
Actually, Jackie, like in the beginning, like, how did you feel about him doing all this stuff, and what were you thinking at that time?
So it was fun watching him be so excited about things.
Yeah.
I will tell you, on the downside, I have not parked in my garage in over 20 years. We just completely gave it up. He actually built 2 soundproof rooms in the garage, so the garage is totally his.
No, I've seen it. That's so
envy
awesome.
people who drive and park in their garages, but it's fun watching him get excited about it. I do, quite frankly, have some conversations where he gets so excited, I just have to nod and smile because I can't keep up. What he's excited about. It's like, oh, and there's this overtone and this octave like came in, and then I got this third going on the edge. I'm like, that's great, sweetie. That's great. So, but he has a fantastic time, and it's fun to watch him be all excited about this stuff.
No, it's just amazing, seeing you guys and working with you for the past few years, and seeing how you guys work. And you guys are an amazing couple. I've actually got to see you guys, you sing with the handpan in Hawaii, which was, that was amazing. And,
that was fun.
We've had some moments, so I'm excited because you guys are just a great couple, and it just shows in the business, and it shows in your life and your family and stuff like that. So
well,
really
we surround
awesome.
ourselves with good people like you, Daniel.
Ah, gosh.
Yeah, man.
I'm just a joiner. You guys, it's good. You guys have great energy and you attract great people. So awesome.
Yeah, well, awesome. Thank you, Jackie. I think we're going to let you go now. We're going to talk a little bit more about our anniversary coming up. I think Daniel's got some information for us. I'm not sure.
No. We'll keep her on. Well, let's talk about it because actually, for the 10th anniversary, we are going to do another live show just like this. We're going to wing it because we've been kind of busy, but we will have probably a list up of what's happening, our itinerary. But we're kind of make it loose. We will be open on that day, but we're going to be like socially distant, stuff like that. I know in the morning I'll do a ukulele lesson class, or like our ukulele social will come together. Dave, I don't know because I don't know if we don't have enough handpans for like a handpan class, but maybe we could do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or just do the live show. We'll actually have the live show and then have the handpan class live show too, for everybody that can't make it. So we'll see how it works. Trying to keep it simple because I know these times are like kind of crazy. So Jackie, were you gonna do anything? Maybe sing with the handpan? That'd be kind of awesome.
I would love to.
I'm gonna put her on the spot live.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do something live for us? Or
You know what? That would be fun. Maybe we can work it out. Dave actually got me some Native American flutes, and a couple of them are tuned to the same handpans he's got. So we haven't had a chance to play those together very often. So that could be fun.
Oh my God! I know that sounds really amazing. So that'd be kind of cool. I know. I love playing because I got the A flute, and me and Dave have jammed on it, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah, your A minor flute sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. So
bring it, man, bring it.
Yeah, we'll jam. Well,
awesome.
We can. I think I kind of like what I want to show is like how the ukulele and the handpan play together, and then like singing with the handpan. Not a lot of people see that a lot. All they hear is you know what I mean. And then the flute with the handpan is just amazing too. So, we'll probably show a lot of those different things on the live show. We are going to have a sale that day, so we have handpans that we normally don't sell, I guess, and then we're going to have some good ones like that.
Nice.
And just have a good time. It's the 10th anniversary. You two, you've done this for 10 years, and that's a big mark for any business. I believe being in business for 10 years, and as it stands right now, all I can see is growth for the company, and we have amazing clients, You know, it's more like we have a family, I believe. You know, the DIY family of handpans and ukuleles and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And by the way, Daniel, you were talking
Yeah.
about those special items for sale. I believe we're going to have a web page that's going to be dedicated to those sale items.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. We're gonna have that.
So.
And then actually,
So
I'm gonna
take a
go. For ukuleles, I'm gonna go down to Ohana, and I think they had some one of a kind ukuleles, so I'm gonna grab those probably, and
Cool.
then have those available for our customers because I just sold one. She's so happy with it, and I know I have another one that's online that's just one of a kind. So for those collectors, or you want a cool sounding instrument that's just your own, it's gonna be available on the website.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be a great time. So next this Saturday, or next Saturday, because today's Saturday. So it's gonna be Saturday, September 19th, right?
Yes, and we'll probably start the live show around, what do you say, 10 or 11? 11?
Something like that. Yeah, 10 or 11.
Yeah. We'll have all the information at once.
Yeah, when our store was open before pre-COVID, we had Saturday hours, which were 11 to 5. So that's kind of our traditional open hours for the store.
Yeah.
So that's. Yeah, we'll probably be mostly doing our business and our celebration during that time.
Yeah, and then we'll just have like a pop-up in the parking lot, and then anybody can try out handpans, stuff like that. Watch the live show.
And lots of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, right. Have hand sanitizer, all that fun stuff.
Oh,
masks.
we have it all.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yes.
We'll have marks on it, so you only can stand in one spot, and
Right. We'll keep you safe.
Yep.
Awesome. I know we kid about it, but yeah, we definitely want to be safe out there, you guys. So. Cool. All right, Dave, is that it? Jackie? Oh my God, it's so awesome to have you on and
this
hear
was so
your
much
story. Fun. No, and sometimes in this is a family business, and we never get to see, we kid about the CEO of DI, but it's the people behind the scenes that actually makes it run. And if you didn't support Dave the way you did, then I don't think this business would be the way it is. So.
No way, not at all, man.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Jackie's
Daniel.
a wonderful support.
You're welcome.
Thanks, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jackie. All right, I'm going to bring you back on, Dave, and you're going to start the handpan class right now, right?
Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Right, here we go. Boom. Bye, Jackie. Bye, Jackie.
Okay, awesome. That was wonderful. That was really funny. So by the way, I asked Jackie to be my guest on this show, on the YouTube live show that we're doing right now. YouTube live if you're not watching or whatever. Anyway, so it was funny. I just said it to her this morning. I was like, hey, would you like to join me? It'd be fun to have you. And then I told Daniel and the crew, and they're like, wow, okay. So we just organized it really fast. That was a lot of fun. So thank you, Jackie. All right. So we're going to get back to business here with handpans, and this is basically a handpan show. We do this every 2 weeks, and we talk about our handpans here at DII, and it's usually tailored for the beginners that we have that have questions about handpans and that might be interested in buying one, or just in general just wondering about how handpans work and how they sound and that sort of thing. So since it's our anniversary coming up on Saturday, September 19th, I just wanted to review a little bit and show you a little bit about what we've been working on over the past 10 years. I don't actually have a handpan here that was like one of my first ones. If I had thought about it, I could have brought one. It's at home. And my first handpans that I made were made out of small barrels, I think, like a 35-gallon steel barrel, kind of like a steel drum, because my history was in steel drums and steel drumming and making them. And so I was familiar with those materials, so I would use barrels. I think the very first one I made was out of a 55-gallon barrel. So I made it out of a 55-gallon barrel, just a normal-sized barrel that we make steel drums out of. And I just flip-flopped the top onto another top and made it look like this, like the handpan here. And that was a lot of fun. I did those for a while, and I called those, I think I called those the Genesis model handpan. And I got my start there. A lot of people started playing with them and enjoying them. And then I later made the 35-gallon barrel size, which I called the Symphonette. And I had that one brass plated, and nobody had done brass plating before in the handpan world. So that was a lot of fun for me to experiment with. I actually early on powder coated a few handpans, and I don't know if anybody had powder coated handpans before that either, because at the time the trend was to have, or the main trend or the main thing was to have nitrided steel. A lot of people hear these terms bantered about in the handpan world. So the hang drum, which was from Switzerland, was made out of nitrided metal. And but at that time, I had not really even known how to make a nitrided instrument yet. So I was still using some of the things that I had been accustomed to with making steel drums. So I had the 55-gallon barrel Genesis, and then I had the Symphonette on the 35-gallon barrel. And the Symphonette actually ended up being one of my more popular items. In hindsight, it's really interesting. Looking back, a lot of people really enjoyed it, and people will still bring them back to me from time to time to get them tuned. And they're always like, "Oh, this was my favorite instrument. I had a lot of fun with it." So I'm just really happy that that ended up being the way it was, and people enjoyed the instruments. And that's the whole reason we're here, is for people to enjoy what they're playing and doing with the handpans that we make. So, oh,
Hey, can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear you. I can
Here.
hear you.
I think it's gonna show right now. Let me see in a minute. I have a picture of the first handpan. Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, right.
That's
The first one I ever built. And in fact, it didn't used to be that golden color. It used to be just like a black or something like that. I don't quite remember. But the customer had me. He brought it back, and I kind of redid it for him and made it look a little fancier. But yeah, you can see that that's made out of a 55-gallon barrel. It's a lot bigger than the handpans that we make now. And I made it like a C minor scale or C major scale or something like that. I didn't really know what I was doing. But yeah, that's classic. That's like the very first one I've ever made. And he still plays it. So the customer's still out there and still playing it. So that's really good news.
I've seen it come in a couple times for tuning. It's so funny.
Yeah. So then after a while, I figured out a supplier and a friend who had these tops made, the preformed tops with the dimple and everything like that. We still had to press all of these notes ourselves and do all the handwork and tuning ourselves. So I got my hands on some nice shells. And this one now here, this was probably made several years ago. This was nitrided steel, so I figured out how to make them out of nitrided steel. And so I called this model the Genesis model. And this one here is a pygmy scale. Like that. And then for a while I was experimenting and having fun with putting bottom notes onto the instruments, and I called these talk tones. So they sound like this. So it's kind of a different playful sound, and I always imagine them not like being something different, a separate sound from the handpan side. So you could play a handpan, a mellow sound on one side, and then a more playful, energetic kind of sound on the other side. So that's why I had the talk tones going on. I just thought it was a really neat option for customers. So that was our Gaia, and we made talk tones. And then let's see. We came out with our more recent, we call this the Luna model. And the Luna was not made from nitrided metal. This is just plain steel. But we put the Clarity coat on it, which is a clear powder coating. And we really like that coat because it's super duper protective of the steel, and it keeps rust away from it. And it still has a beautiful sound. At the time, we were not doing any bottom notes, so it just had the standard bottom shell. But this was a really nice model, and we really enjoyed producing this. And we still do produce the Luna model. We still produce this Luna. We call it the Clarity, Luna Clarity. Now we also have one that has bottom notes, 3 bottom notes. We call that the Luna Clarity 11 because it has 8 notes on top and 3 on the bottom, which equals 11. So this is a sunset scale, also a D minor scale. Then we came out more recently also with the stainless steel model handpan. We've got the RS handpan here. So this is a D minor sunset scale also. It has an extra high C on top, so it's got 9 notes on the top. And as you can see on the bottom, we've got the 3 notes on the bottom. So we call this the RS 12 because it's got 12 total notes, 9 on top and 3 on the bottom. And a lot of people like the RS a lot. It's a super duper clean sounding material. It's got this really nice gold finish. And stainless steel is great for corrosion because it doesn't really rust like regular steel, so we don't have to powder coat it or anything like that. So what you see is what you get. That's just regular stainless steel that we make this out of. And that's a really fun instrument, the RS. And so we've got our Luna Clarity, we've got the RS, and now we've got something new also, and this is called the Ohm Hybrid. So Luna, we're calling it the Luna because it's the same size as our Luna Clarity. It's got the 8-note sunset scale on the top, and on the bottom we've got these tongues. So if you haven't seen these before, this is what they look like. So on the bottom shell, I'll just bring it a little closer, it's got tongues on there, and you can play those tongues. And what they do, and what's special about this instrument, is it resonates the notes on the top shell. So when you play the tongues on the bottom shell, it resonates with the notes on the top shell. So it sounds something like this. It has a very unique sound, and really nobody else in the world that I know of is doing this. This is a patented design. I went in on the patent with Graham Doe, and he's a part of the Happy Drum company, and he makes a lot of the tongue drums, and so he was able to really do a lot of the machinery kind of work on getting this developed. But he and I had some ideas that formed this whole thing together, and we've been working on it for really like 5 years or more. So this is the result of years and years of work, and just we're really proud of it. It sounds super duper terrific. But we're just really kind of getting them online right now. We've only made probably maybe 10. So not even quite 10 or so, but we've been playing around with it for quite a long time. And I had previous models where the tongues were on the top shell, but then we decided to put them on the bottom. And anyway, so we got the patent. It's a really terrific instrument. You can play it like a handpan on top. You can play it like a tongue drum on the bottom. Want to even, like a lot of customers are concerned about playing with their hands. They don't always know if they're going to be good enough or if they have the right technique. So another thing about the Ohm Hybrid drum is that you can play it with mallets. So, and it does create a different sound than your fingers as well. I especially like the Ohm drum for the way it creates a droning sound. So for instance, I would say that if you are somebody that does sound baths or sound healing or anything where you want to meditate, it's just a really wonderful instrument where you can just make these droning sounds. You could sing along, you could do Ohm sounds to it if you want to. And it's completely unlike any other instrument that you've heard out there on the market. So we're really proud of this. There you go. That's the Ohm Hybrid. So I just wanted to kind of bring you up to speed a little bit of what we've been doing here at DII for the past 10 years. Since, again, for those of you who just might have joined us, we're having our 10-year anniversary coming up on Saturday, September 19th. And so I just wanted to show you a little bit like of a retrospective here of what we've been working on over the past 10 years here at DII. We're constantly trying to innovate and constantly trying to make things better for our customers, and we're always really concerned about how people react to them, and we want to give them the best experience possible. So to all of our previous customers, thank you very much. You guys have been wonderful, and you really have built this entire business for us with your support. So thank you so much to all of you who have purchased drums from us before. We really appreciate your business, and it's really helping us move forward and move things forward into the future with handpans and designs and all that sort of thing. So really, really thank you so much to all of our customers. And to our future customers, we welcome you, and we look forward to meeting you one of these days. It's really, truthfully, one of the most fun things we do here at DII is meet our new customers. For instance, this last Saturday, we met a customer who was coming up from San Diego. He works with the Children's Hospital down there in San Diego, and he is like a music therapist down there. And he already has a handpan, and he was finding that it was really, really helpful with a lot of his teenage therapy students, not students, but clients there at the hospital. It really helps them unwind and relax. And so he wanted to get something else on a different handpan or whatever. to incorporate into his program down there. So just the stories he had of how the handpan helps people feel better when they're in circumstances like being at the hospital with unfortunate diseases and that sort of thing. It was really touching and moving, and so we always constantly get these really fabulous stories about the customers who come in and what they do and how they're using the handpan. Like you saw earlier, if you're watching the whole show, Joy, she's a local sound healer, and she uses our RS handpan as part of her sound healing. And she's just really a wonderful person, and it's just really great being a part of a movement and part of a business that creates such positive vibes in the world. So anyway, I just want to say that. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right. Now that I've given you the little retrospective of the handpans we've been making here over at DII for the past 10 years, I'm just going to do my classic handpan class. And it's a little free thing we've been doing for quite some time at DII. When our doors were open and we could have people inside of our store, we had classes every 2 weeks. And each one of those 2 weeks, people would come in and they would learn about how to play the handpan. And it was really fun. We'd have anywhere between 2 and 20 people show up every 2 weeks, and it would experience handpans. Some people would enjoy them. Some people would rent them because we rent handpans. Some people would buy them. And it was just a really fun experience to get together and work together like that. So I'm now doing that same kind of idea here on the live YouTube show every 2 weeks. And so here we go. So I'm just going to go from the basics. If you have any questions, please put them in the YouTube comments, and Carrie and Daniel in the background watching the comments go by. And if you have a question or comment, that you can usually interject and let me know what the question is, and then I can usually kind of answer you live while you're watching the show. So, all right, so let's just get started. This is the handpan. I'm going to use the, let's see, which one should I use today? I think I'm going to use the, not the ohm, because it's a little bit different. I'm going to use the classic Luna Clarity here. So it's got a top shell and a bottom shell, if you're unfamiliar with handpans. The top shell, these are both made of steel. And of course, as I mentioned before, this one's been powder coated with a clear powder coat, and the almond color comes from a thing called a patina. We put a patina on the metal to make it look a little bit nicer. And different handpans are made with different materials, but in general, you're going to see something like this. It kind of looks like a UFO. The notes on top on our handpans are pretty much all D minor sunset scales. We've gravitated towards those because a lot of people really enjoy them. And it's a scale that just allows you to feel free, and you can experiment and play for a long period of time without really feeling trapped within a certain kind of scale. All right, so let me just talk about the basics, and I think we have, oh, Daniel, are you there?
Dave, quick question. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Diva, when you're done, actually it's a request. When you're done, can you ask him to play the handpan with the mallets?
Oh, so are you talking about, so Diva was asking, can I play the handpan with mallets? So I have the ohm drum, which I was describing earlier, which I was talking about playing the tongues with the mallets. But typically, I don't play the handpan with mallets. You can, but typically people don't. And if you did, you have to make sure that you have the proper mallet. These mallets, even here, they're kind of like a hard rubber. I wouldn't really recommend these for playing handpans. Maybe something softer like a latex steel drum mallet might be a little bit better. I actually use a mallet to tune the drums, so it's not really going to damage them per se, unless you use the wrong kind of mallet. So if you use like a drumstick, which would be terrible, you wouldn't want to use a drumstick. You wouldn't want to use like a marimba mallet or a vibraphone mallet or anything like that. So it needs to be the proper kind of mallet to get the sound out of the instrument and for it not to create damage to the instrument. So, but in general, I mean, I could play just a quick scale with these just to give you an idea. So it does work as long as you're gentle. Or you can use your hands and fingers. All right, getting back to the drums.
Diva says thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Diva. Okay. So getting back to the instrument, like I said, this is a D minor scale. We call it the sunset scale. A lot of people out there in handpan world call it a Celtic minor scale. It has a big note in the middle, which we call the ding note. And oh, this is on screen, by the way, so you can see it on screen. So there's the ding note in the middle, And around the perimeter of the drum, we've got these tone field notes. Some people call them tone fields. I tend to call them notes. So we just call them tone field notes now, just to put it all into one phrase. So we've got tone field notes around the rim. There's larger tone field notes towards your body. They're usually about the size of your hand. And then the smaller ones are away from your body, and they're about the size of half of your hand, that kind of thing. So the larger the note is, the lower the sound is. So the deeper the sound is when it's a bigger note, and when the note gets smaller, it becomes a smaller or like a more high frequency note. So you can just kind of see how they work like that. The cool thing about the handpan is it's basically something where you play it kind of in a circle, so you're just always kind of playing with this kind of motion with your hands. So it's really fun to play. It's not linear like a piano. Let me just get back now to the way it's made. So we've got the ding note, we've got the tone field notes. Between the notes is the metal that doesn't actually have like a real sound to it. It's called interstitial metal, interstitial, or sometimes people call, or at least sometimes I call it dead space because it has a dead sound to it. And it's intentionally made that way because the notes, the only reason that they vibrate the way they do is because they're separated by that rigid interstitial metal. And if it wasn't rigid, if it was more flexible, then the sound would dilute and make all sorts of problematic problems for the sound. It would be a really inconsistent sound, and it wouldn't sound very good. So that's why the interstitial metal is there. But people have learned to use that interstitial metal as a rhythmic area. So they can just tap it with their fingers and create like a backbeat sound. That sort of thing. So the interstitial metal can be used effectively to create music with this instrument as well. All right, these little dots in the middle of each one of these tone field notes is called a dimple. And dimples are something that was created by the innovators of the hang drum. And it basically makes the note a little bit mellower.
Dave, we have a question real quick.
Okay. Yes, yeah. We've got a question. Got a question.
Okay, this is Antonio Montoya. He's asking, does the coating on the clarity change the sound compared to the stainless steel, like the Auris?
Yes, excellent question. So yes, the coating does change the sound. Some people like it, some people don't. But it just reminds me so much of any instrument. You'll see a lot of instruments where they have like a glossy ukulele versus a satin ukulele versus like I don't know what other kind of ukuleles they have that have different finishes on them. But yeah, anything that you do to a handpan, any kind of finish that's different is always going to change the sound just a little bit. Luckily, what I've found with the clarity coat is it kind of reduces some of the metallic tone that you get out of the instrument and allows some of the more fundamental mid-range tones of the instrument to be heard a little bit more effectively. So to me, it sounds really nice. I like the way it sounds. And a lot of other people do as well. So we've had really good reactions from our customers. So, you know, definitely. And another thing about the stainless steel is it does actually have a little bit more of those high frequencies I was talking about with this one. So this one has a little bit of more of a mellow sound, and this one has a little bit of a brighter sound. And it's probably part of the reason is because of the coating. But again, it still sounds great. And it's an instrument just with a different finish. So that's how that is. All right, so back to the, what was I talking about? The dimples. So we've got dimples in the middle of the notes. And the dimples are just like a little bit of a dimple in the metal. And it just keeps the tone of the note a little bit mellower. So rather than having a little bit louder, brighter steel drum kind of sound, it has a mellower sound that allows you to meditate and enjoy the mellow sounds of the instrument. All right, so those are the basics of how it's made. But I didn't really get into the tuning. They're tuned with hammers. So a lot of the work that's done to shape these notes is done with pneumatic hammers, which are like air hammers. And then I switch over to ball peen hammers, and I stick my hand in the bottom of the instrument here, and I can tune the notes, you know, inside with the hammer. If I need to, I pull my hand out and tap on the outside of the drum and the notes to tune the notes with the hammer. So it's still largely done just by an individual tuner, and it's very specialized, and a lot of people struggle to learn how to do it. But you can do it. It takes a lot of experimentation and a lot of practice, but that's the way it's done. All right, let's get back to the scale now. So we're playing a D minor sunset scale here. I told you earlier we have a ding note in the middle. The D, I think, is on screen there. You can see it. D. Then we've got an A, C, D, E, F, G, and A. Now, you can also count those. Some people are unfamiliar and uncomfortable with approaching music because it's their first time playing a musical instrument. Maybe in the past they've tried, but they didn't feel successful, so they're a little bit hesitant to get started again. So if you want to, you can also just count these notes. You don't have to use the letter names. So you can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We typically start on 1 on the ding. And it's really easy to count and negotiate which notes are which by just doing it with numbers. So the scale that I just played was starting from the lowest note and moving up to the highest note. And you can see that I did that starting with my left hand and then moving to my right, back to my left, back to my right, back to my left, back to my right, back to my left, and back to my right. So you can see I was just alternating hands there, alternating hands going straight up the scale. Some people, when they're first beginning, when we've had classes here in the store, they sometimes will want to play 2 notes with 1 hand. So instead of going left, right, they'll do something like left, left. But the problem with that is then the next note is over here. So then you're crossing your hands, and next thing you know, you're playing like this. So it is somewhat important to try to figure out how to play the scale without crossing your hands over. So just my opinion is to just do it alternating hands. As you get better and better and you get beyond some of the basic scales, yes, you're going to play 2 notes with 1 hand or do some crossovers, that sort of thing. Like, for instance, something simple like this. So you can see that I'm playing left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right. If I wanted to play that alternate and go left, right, it would be very awkward. Looks like I'm swimming or something. But, you know, it actually kind of looks cool too. So as I'm thinking about it, if you're performing on the handpan and you want it to look cool, you might want to try something like that. Right? But I think in normal practice, if you were just playing and trying to be effective with your music, it might be easier just to play something like this. So there are times that you want to use 2 notes with 1 hand or crossover this or there. But as a beginner, you probably want to just get the basics done first. Speaking of basics, I didn't actually talk about how to play these notes. So a lot of people struggle with just getting the sound out of the instrument, first of all. So what you want to do is pretend like your finger is not super rigid, but just mildly stiff. And you're going to let it fall on that note, and then strike the note, and then come immediately off of the note. Strike immediately off, strike immediately off. And it's almost like a spring, just spring action, just falling on that note and coming immediately off. If you strike the note and tug at it, you're going to mute the note, like this. So a lot of people have the struggle of kind of curving their fingers and grabbing at the note. That usually does not make a good sound. There are instances where you can maybe do something like this, kind of create a sound effect out of it. But for most beginners, they're really looking for that classic full handpan sound. So in that case, I suggest striking with the finger, immediately coming off. It's like a spring action. I always forget to bring it these days, but I've got like a little bell at a hotel. And you know, you go up to the front desk at a hotel and you ring the bell and it goes ding, 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 service, please. They call it a service bell. And it's got like a little metal pin at the top that you touch, and then it rings the bell. So that's a really good way of practicing the technique of how to play a handpan note, because it's pretty much the same action. You're striking it and lifting off immediately. If you press down on it, it tends to mute the bell. So same thing with the handpan notes. It will mute the notes. There's another way you can play handpan notes. You can play with your thumb also. Some people really like to play with their thumbs. So if you struggle getting the handpan technique with your fingers, and I usually use my index finger, but you can also use your middle finger, whatever finger is comfortable. Most people do not use their ring finger or their little finger. They're a little bit too weak, but you can play with those fingers. So yeah, you can use your thumbs. that might be helpful for some people is that it's more of a rotary motion of the hand and the arm than this slapping motion. So if you're uncomfortable with that motion, the rotary motion might be a little bit easier. So as beginners, you might want to just find what is most effective for you most immediately and just kind of run with that for a while until you can practice and get a little bit better at the other techniques. You can also play 2 notes at the same time. So here I'm using my thumb and my finger on 2 notes to create like a little chord. Over here, I can spread my index finger and my ring finger out to play 2 notes there. I can also play 2 notes with 2 hands. Spread there, finger and thumb, 2 notes at the same time, left and right. So you can do all sorts of fun stuff with techniques. You can also play harmonics on the handpan. So each one of these notes is tuned with basically 3 harmonics. It's going to be a fundamental pitch, which is the lowest sound, an octave, which is a sound that you kind of as a non-musician might not even recognize that it's there, but it's there, and it really makes the sound of the handpan note pretty much what it is. So you've got the fundamental, which is the lowest. You've got the octave, and then there's a 5th on top of that. So most of these notes kind of have a oval shape to them, and the oval shape, you can see the length of the oval is where the octave is tuned, and the width of the oval is where the 5th is tuned. So the fundamental is basically just the basic sound of that note. So in this case, this is an A. The octave, you can kind of tap on the edges near the end of the note, and you can hear more of that higher end octave, which is also an A. And then through the middle, you've got this 5th. La, 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 it's way up there. Right, so you've got a fundamental A, octave A, and a 5th. So a lot of people that are really good at performing with the handpan learn how to activate these different sounds to create musical ideas, and it makes the performance look really cool too, because as you're drifting over the handpan, you just hear all these different sounds coming out of the instrument, and it's not always apparent to the person that's watching, like how are they creating those sounds, but they're seeing magically these sounds come out of the instrument. So playing those different octaves and 5th harmonics really produces a fun little performance aspect to the music that you're hearing. Also, just the music itself is just amazing. So those techniques can be a little bit difficult to learn for a beginner, so I'm just letting you know that they're there, but I'm not expecting a beginner to actually just walk up and start playing those immediately. It does take a little while to understand how to activate those sounds. All right, so Daniel, how are we doing? Any other questions out there?
Actually, we just had a comment from Diva D. She wants to thank you for the last class, especially the part about how to construct a song. That was huge, and I remember that was actually really good.
Oh, how to construct a song. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll do a little bit of that this time also.
Cool.
Great.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, no, thank you for directing me on that one, because sometimes I forget. A lot of beginners on the handpan, they get one, but then they don't really know what to do beyond like a couple scales. So I've been showing largely how to play scales, and sometimes I'll play like a rhythm, get people started on a rhythm, show them how to play the rhythm. But then after they get a couple of those basic techniques and basic scales and rhythms down, they don't always know how to construct a song or to make it a little bit more interesting. And I've been to music school, and I've written large arrangements for steel drum band and all sorts of different varieties of instruments, so I'm very familiar with that. And so I can just give you like a quick hint. I'm just going to do it right now because we're on the subject, and actually it's really a fun subject to talk about. Creating a song on an instrument like this is kind of like just having a conversation. If you were writing a paper for your English teacher, everybody knows you have to have sentences, and you have to have paragraphs, and you have to have the main idea, and you have to have the body of the essay or whatever it is, and then the conclusion or whatever, right? So it's basically the same kind of thing as if you're writing an essay. You need to have some main ideas. You need to have some main ideas. You need to have some kind of body to the idea that you're trying to talk about, and some details maybe. And then you need to have a little finish it up with a conclusion or something like that. You could make it like really simple, like a haiku. What do they call that? Like that little poetry called a haiku, where it's like, what is it, like 8 syllables, 10 syllables, 8 syllables, something like that. I can't remember. but it's very similar to language. So on a very basic level, if you just had two ideas to get you started, that will create and stimulate the idea that you're playing a song. And to the listener, if you have two ideas and you stick to those ideas and you don't deviate from them, then people will go, oh, that's something that they meant to do. It's not just haphazard. And it's leading my ear and it's showing my ear, oh, that's meant to be there. So, for instance, I can't remember what we did last time, but it was kind of like the quick brown fox or something like that. It was pretty funny. But this time I'll do something a little bit different. I don't know. So we're having our 10-year anniversary coming up, right? So 10-year anniversary. Let's see if we can do something like that. There, 10-year anniversary, right? 10-year anniversary. And normally there's a little pause if you say that out loud, right? You wouldn't just say 10-year anniversary. 10-year anniversary. Pause. And then you go on to say something else. So as you're developing ideas, you might want to develop an idea like that. 10-year anniversary, and take a pause. And then you could say something like, coming on Saturday. Coming on Saturday. 10-year anniversary. Coming on Saturday. Right? So that might be your opening statement. So you don't necessarily have to have the words, but sometimes words can help you get started. So now we've got a little song. I just kind of made these up. I mean, I know in my brain how these notes are organized already, so I have a little bit of a head start from what a beginner might work with. But a beginner, you don't even have to do something difficult like that. You could even do something just with one or two notes. Just something simple like that. Remember, see also I'm putting some space between that. I'm letting it just rise out of the instrument and just drift in the air for a second. Frequently, a lot of beginners think they have to play lots and lots of notes really fast. Whatever it is, right? But music really isn't like that. If you've ever listened to the music that is pleasing, frequently they don't continue to play like that. Frequently, they will play phrases. And there's a space. There's another space. A little space, right? Right, whatever it is. So just give yourself the freedom not to have to play fast and the freedom not to have to play a lot of notes. So like I was playing earlier, just maybe two notes. Right? And then maybe switch to a different couple. Back to the first two. And maybe the other two. And then a lot of people get tripped up on, okay, what do I do next? So I have that first idea. So what you want to do a little bit is create something different for the next part. So that was very simple. And melodic, right? Now I feel like I could sing it. So at that point, you might want to do something rhythmic. And then a little rhythm. And you go back. Maybe incorporate both of them. Yeah. Daniel just said, 10-year anniversary, coming on Saturday. 10-year anniversary, coming on Saturday. If you didn't know, we've got a 10-year anniversary coming up on Saturday, the 9th. So anyway, that's why I said that. Anyway, so you can see I'm just developing these simple ideas. And if you kind of play them A-B style, like A, that's my idea, A idea, and then my B idea is over here. Go back to A, and the B idea. And then you might also want to have like a C idea. You go back to your A idea. And then B. you've got a little bit more of a song going on now. You've got rhythm, you've got some melodies, that's what you do. You just want to try to figure out something simple, and then add it to something else simple, and then you can kind of interplay between the two. There's other things you can go beyond that, but on a very basic level, that's a very simple way of kind of getting started on constructing your own songs. I've talked a lot today. I didn't even know what time it is. Daniel, what time it is? What time is it? 1:56. So I think we're going to end it right here. I mean, this was a really good class. We talked a lot about our 10-year anniversary, had a little conversation with my wife, a little bit of history with DII and myself making handpans and steel drums. And Daniel was awesome. He talked about Joy and her upcoming sound healing stuff coming up. And I just wanted to say, again, thank you to all of our customers. We've been going for 10 years strong now. And our anniversary is on Saturday, September 19th coming up. We're going to have some special deals on handpans. And those are going to be on a special page on our website. So take a look at our website and check it out and keep updated with that. Daniel, is there anything else that we need to talk to everybody about before we take off?
No, Stephanie says this was absolutely great. I know Stephanie, she's one of our new customers. Did a
great
appointment, and I think she got her pan. I can't remember or not, but thank you, Stephanie.
Terrific.
Awesome too.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I know it was an hour long, and so sometimes it's hard to concentrate on these videos for like a full hour. So if you watch the whole thing, I really appreciate it, and thank you for tuning in. For anybody else who's watching more passively, thank you for watching also, because that's kind of the way I watch videos. Sometimes I'll just turn it on, I'll listen to the stuff going on in the background, and I'll just look over when I find something interesting to watch.
Quick comments. Diva says thanks. Caleb Nelson also says thanks for the lesson. He has lent one of your handpans recently.
Okay, cool.
Victoria says she loved your the wife being Jackie being on. Thanks for the lesson, and congratulations on the anniversary. Oh,
thank you very much. Okay, so with that, I think we're going to log off. I'm going to play a little bit of something for you while we tune the show out, and we'll see you the next time. Thank you. Toodaloo.
Yeah.